And with that being said, it's time for OpTic Gaming to show us what they can do. Once more, before we start over, take a look at the pings. It didn't really fix for OpTic Gaming, unfortunately. Still necessarily playing with that, but their approach seems to be very clear. This is going to be a take onto the B site. Skadoodle keeps his flashbang ready to help Rush once he comes to come around the corner. There it goes, Rush needs to find one, does find one. Freiberg is there though to get at least a refrag, and automatic on the side with two others waiting there onto the ramp. Mixwell getting good frags, and this leaves it all down to Stewie. Gallagher Kid, but that's it, he's going to get. And Mixwell, he does not compromise. He's not into it. He definitely wants to fight from start on. Stewie chooses his scout in this case. Interesting option because his shots have to be blank on, of course. Freiberg finds the first. A little bit too aggressive from Skadoodle towards Connector. And the grenade will pop directly in front of the feet from Rush. Leaves him with 82 HP. ZZ, very lethal in close range though. We know those 12 bullets can be so well used. 2 MP7s, 2 UMP45s, and then a single AK. And also patience that is on the side of OpTic Gaming. Not rushing anything over against a team that will just face the pistols, because the close range capability of those handguns is too massive. This has been hurt. No way, this had not been hurt by OpTic. They also know where Rush stands. There he tries to find one, but no chance. As it is now, Tarek moving over. Automatic takes his time, and Stewie cannot utilize his scout properly yet. No, not a hit. Not a, oh yeah, there he hits at least one. Oh, and he gets a beautiful wallbang there onto Alu. Through the metal, he rips off the head of the Finn, but that leaves automatic down into Connector. His chances are down to 0, because nothing else will happen than this door open and then he's dead, except Freiberg whiffs dramatically. And as we're seeing, even if OpTic survives with 3 players on comparatively low HP, they're still gathering around. Did only lose Alu, so it's not a big deal. And just to keep you guys informed, actually, afterwards, we're going to take a look at Liquid versus Luminosity. It's going to be a break we're taking, of course, but don't worry, it's going to be exciting anyway. Cloud9 once more in a situation that they have no gun set up. Stewie keeps up what he has, as they were able to save with automatic. The iconic duo from the North American team. And Gisk should have no problem getting Rush, who's down to 6 HP, only has the standard default pistol, and it's a single point of health that remains on the ex-OpTic player. HS at least finding one. Only Tarek gets caught, and that could actually be the possibility. But no chance. Mixwell getting one. Mixwell trying his best onto Stewie, who still has a scout. Can be very lethal if he uses it wisely, but rather retreats at that point. And if Rush does anything, yeah, then it is only dying. As the bomb will be planted by Freiberg, Stewie probably will be found, and there he is, a jumping Estonian. Grabs the life of the American. Stewie no chance there, and now it's buy time. And buy time is happy time for Cloud9, as on the CT side, on a map like this, you can do a lot, actually. You can do a hell lot, but you need to figure out how you do it. That's the important thing. You need to figure out how you do it, you need to figure out where to do it, and no AWP on the Skadoodle might be a legitimate option at this point. But also the money component. Take a look here. $50 only onto Tarek and Skadoodle. The rest, oh well, the rest has no chance to play with anything here. ping disadvantage when we take a look at it again. It's just too massive. HS with 6-1 scoreline after the first 3 rounds, but still on 100 ping. Just a massive lag. Big difference. 100 milliseconds it is. But that will still be a good take. While everyone from the North American side need to rethink how they want to take that approach. Tarek will jump up. Gathers that head off Magisk. That's nice to see. And this brings OpTic in a tricky situation because they're getting taken down one by one. Suddenly it's only 2 submachine guns there alive. Stewie knows also where one is. And this should now leave them the option to defuse. If now Automatic saves him, that should all be there, but they're not doing it. Where is the spray coming from? Someone needs to defuse because the time is ticking low. And suddenly it is actually Alu gathering it, and there will be no chance. Freiburg misses out his chance. And Stewie just dies. That was not the defense you want to do, and he even gets taken apart by that bomb. And what a possibility to not leave your teammate to say, okay, I got you. You know what? I'm just retaking this with 5 men, of course, but I'm retaking this. And you cover me up from short. Didn't happen. Unfortunate play for Cloud. This leaves 5 men towards birthday and toilets. To maintain at least some control towards there. Nicely done the rush. 1 frack, but nothing else is getting. Automatic needs to be the Deaglekin. There's number 1. Not number 2. Very sad. Nice try, Freiburg. At least someone else got his head ripped off. So far, it seems that 5-0 from OpTic is working. Their map pick and their choice of how they want to approach, because this is all played by them. Cloud9 needs to adapt all the time. This is not their game book they have open. And on map number 2, the full control is in the hands of the European mix that has to play with a ping that is just way above beyond acceptable. But no fun at least. And now HS, he takes the approach. Automatic just finds him at least. There's Rush standing behind the pillar. Oh, Mixwell does not check. And that logically brings Alu in a tricky situation. The entire team of OpTic just gave them away because one position wasn't checked. And Cloud, in a matter of a few seconds, they're taking down one OpTic player after another who tried his best to go onto that B side. Surprising that this was not working, actually, because we've seen OpTic taking B side fairly often so far in a really good fashion. Also, they were buy rounds. There was Cloud9 forced to do a 5-man retake, and they're still not able to do so. But push from Tarek. Still tight. Could have just waited a little bit longer for the double he gets, and Alu. Oh no, he gets refracked by Skadoodle. Not a situation you want to be in. As OpTic just falls apart 1 by 1. Only HS can do something about this. Automatic should find his head in a matter of seconds. And he does. No problem. Cloud9 with the second. And the accountant of OpTic has called. It's not looking good at all. And that match, yeah, that pause, not quite sure why it's that early, to be very honest. But, I mean, why don't we take a look? Take a look here. HS doing great work with his 9-4, carrying the team kind of through. Died as the last one as well. And OpTic Gaming, they're taking the control with 5 rounds at least, but satisfying is something different, to say it like that. Yeah, and as there seems to be some kind of longer problem, we're switching over right here to what you have been used to. I am actually very interested how it will be, because we're seeing right now OpTic, they need to gather more and more control about this as soon as possible, because once Cloud9 get onto the momentum, they're really into it. But pause has been called, gone, and that pause leaves Cloud9 with 2 AWPs. Skadoodle and Stewie onto it. Stewie standing there towards toilets. A lot of OpTic players will just come his way. I imagine this will not be a happy end for him. Oh, he gets actually spotted out for the wall. Needs to retreat as soon as possible. I gather it's not even a good angle because then he gets fragged from behind. Just a matter of seconds. Yes, he does. Magisk finds himself an AWP, and now he's in a good situation to find also some more frags. A tiny smoke gap that is existent. There it comes. Tarek with one, Tarek with two, and Magisk needs to find free. His AWP needs to be strong about the frags, though he has some horrible lags. But this is fun because an AWP is not running gun, and there comes rushing from behind. When you have the man advantage, no reason to face one after another, and this is exactly how Cloud9 could actually be able to gather so much control. I mean, what we're just seeing right here, it's just the momentum that they gather. Now it's up to OpTic to put that break once more in to say, okay, stop at this point, Cloud. You got enough rounds. It's our turn. It's back here, our map. And not quite sure if that is going to happen because it doesn't look that bright. But the approach this time from OpTic, once more, trying their best. Ska. He finds one. That was actually surprising. They did not find that player who was playing Birthday, surprisingly. And Tarek also gets Alu. Beautifully done, Mixwell, as well as his teammate, getting the nade set up as they want to, but they have the man disadvantage. Stewie is now quick about this frag. He might gather it, and he gets Freiburg in a beautiful fashion, which brings Mixwell and HS. And now only HS, the Estonian with the green wall knife, needs to show that the green wall is existent. But that green wall, it just crumbled, fell apart into pieces. And Cloud9 are just about to tie this after it is OpTic Gaming securing 5 in a row, and then suddenly stop, break. And there is where the problem is suffering. This is where the problem is actually coming from, excuse me. Because somehow it does not work as intended. It does not work as intended. Freiburg had the first few rounds set and ready. Actually, by rounds, they won. That somehow weird situation where Cloud9 was in a 5-man retake because they did not take the aggression. Maybe some miscommunication. Did we go? Don't we go? But that's not how you want to start. And Magisk finds Tarek. Down to 7 HP though, jumps around, goes up the ladder, because his options are to surviving any further are just minimized. Rush goes behind the barrels. Tries to find Mixwell. Will actually do that. Yes, he's successful with that. Stewie also goes for his NBA kind of skills, throws that grenade perfectly in Magisk. He's just a body shot away from dying. While still Alu is alive, the Finn with the AK in his hands. They have to fight 2 AWPs. You can't actually say that might be favorable. They play it out smart. Down there's Stewie. Timing can be very horrible. And Stewie, he just got timed. Has the grenade in his hands. Waited there at least 30 seconds to aim down. And then, whoop-de-doo. There's OpTic Gaming coming. A double AWP might have not been the right kind of approach here. That can't be doubted. But now Stewie finds the entry onto Freiburg, and this is the fashion you want to start it off. Show your opponent you're there, and show your opponent that they have, you know, play with one less. More frag happening on the other side of the map. Medic plays towards Monster as it is smoked off. Now we take a look at the map again. Mixwell. Danish guy, which is Magisk. Thank you very much for that, Magisk. We'll face towards Toilets while Skadoodle stands there, and he gets a double! What was that? The collateral was there, and he finds Mixwell and Alu in a fashion that should have never been possible, but his shot was so dead on that it's only one OpTic player alive. What the hell was that? McGisk with 1 HP. If that round was not already crazy enough, why not do a double? With only 1 HP alive. Got 3 frags already. And automatic, a single body shot, even a flashbang to the body of McGisk would take him down instantly. But he can play it out smart. Just a single headshot onto the North American, and this round is over in favor of OpTic Gaming. And automatic, he doesn't know where to play from. He finds McGisk. With 1 HP, the chance of actually figuring this out is tough, of course, but that was important for Cloud. That was automatic. After Skadoodle made a great possibility. The double with the collateral through the smoke on toilets. Then he finished it off. Everything else would have been quite sad, to be very honest. But they're exchanging rounds. It's a little bit different than we had it on Inferno. OpTic already found as many rounds as they did on the previous map. And as an OpTic fan, it's a relief. As a Cloud9 fan, not only satisfying, probably McGisk. He started to wait. Again, Flames, no chance. Actually gathering anything early on in the game, but Tarek, automatic, and Rush all standing very, very tight with each other. And it's the Europeans just waiting for the approach. They're just waiting for the call of their teammate to finally say, yes, it's time. And there it is, time. Freiburg has no chance of surviving. Automatic, that's taken out by Magis though. And this is still not played out yet, but there it is. Stewie 2K with a double, and everything else has been resolved. So Cloud9 is back on the tie. And so saying it will be OpTic on 2.1k in average. (12-6) from Stu 2K, the 19-year-old player who actually had the reputation as a puck kid back when it was all on Reddit and stuff. But now, actually being the top fragger. Now Skadoodle got also the first onto the Spanish player. Missing that shot, not going as intended. And then the timing is another point. Smoke pops off, and they just run for the flames. It doesn't matter. Skadoodle landing to something with his speed to 50, does get one. And then suddenly automatic and Tarek arrive for the assistance. The cavalry is here, and it arrived. Because that AWP shots, one was on. But the others? Oh man. They were definitely not on point. And that is a trend we actually see from Skadoodle. It is very, very true that throughout the past few months, he actually decreased by 0.2 rating points, and that consistently. That is nothing you want to see and hear as a player, because you realize something is going wrong. What a shot from Skadoodle, as we're just talking about it. Before I'm even done, he wallbangs Mixwell. He just does not realize, wait, hold on. How is that actually happening? Wait, how is that working? Then Stewie. He gets Elo as he walks in from behind. This is what he loves. He gets at least one, but there comes Tarek with another Freiburg. Just a matter of seconds till his head gets ripped off, and there's Tarek to find what he was looking for. 8-6, Cloud9. They're on it, and they're good with it. Cloud could just actually go on to the 9th. This is a map where they only have a 33% win percentage, which is just not good at all. I mean, they haven't played it very often in the past, that is true, but this is still a problematic kind of setup and problematic kind of scoreline. Or more likely statistics. OpTic getting everything on the board they could buy from the store. Looks like a big scattered meal from weird stuff you find in your refrigerator. But I mean, it can be tasty. And maybe OpTic, maybe they're doing that tasty one round instead. Almost at least a 7th point, giving Cloud9 not a 3-point advantage. Tries to gather some information, but as he hears from his teammate, Alu cleared out long, and it will be 2 players. It will just Doodle and Stewie. And the 40 seconds that are only there for OpTic, now it matters. Now it's time to do some approach. But Skadoodle finds Mixwell. HS tries his best, but it seems like this is falling apart for OpTic. Because one after another dies, and Freiburg only steals on. What was that shot? In the end, that shot doesn't matter. It was nice for the frag movies, maybe. But 9-6 it is. Teams will be switched just in a matter of seconds. And OpTic, you can blame it on a lot of things. There are a lot of factors you could blame it on. Not a team that plays together for long. Not a team that is there for a good bunch of time. And also a team that plays with a +100 ping. Cloud, they gathered this. If they find that single round, they should be actually good to go to finish it off 2-0. Magus wants to take the aggressive approach. We'll figure out that there is no one towards playground. And that gives this team valuable information, because then they know, okay, we have no one here. So either they're a connector or towards me, and then now they should actually know. Magus keeps himself silent. Not sure if Tarek actually realized what's the situation. Should see the shadow. Tries to rip off the head of Magus. Not happening though. Gets a lot of body shots, and he then finds him. This is a Dane less on the board. But Elo gets automatic. .60-second mark that has been breached. HS will try now to find anything, but he has been spotted and does not get the headshots, so that just means Rush with a beautiful shot onto HS, taking that instantly back, and he will try to gather another because Alu comes in, and that is the last wreck that is being done in this round. Cloud9, after it looked a little bit tricky, OpTic made it to gather nothing else to just a few frags. Sad story in the end, but double digits it is now for the North Americans, who can buy up as much as they want. 2 Galils, 2 AKs, and an MP7 that is on the board for them. With that kind of equipment, it shouldn't be a problem to take down the Europeans at that point. Freiburg, the IGL of OpTic, trying to find any kind of information with his jumps. Played in total 5 years for NIP and was number 11 off the player board of 2013. Since then, only once more got a mentioning in 2014. That's it. Close range shots, finding point. That's nice. Rush. That was a point in time where that needed to happen. Otherwise, it would get kind of embarrassing. What the guys from Cloud9 and Mixwell. It's debatable if it's the smartest kind of opportunity or the smartest kind of idea. Play this out close range with your Deagle. The focus of Cloud is already there. That will be at sight. That's called the automatic just walks free. He does not even wait for his team. Finds a double. And this will probably be Freiburg dying in a matter of seconds. And there he does. So it will be that 11-6. Cloud are just one round away from actually having the double amount of points on the board. And Freiburg might be running out of ideas at that point. Majority could just buy some armor, but they'd rather go for a seriously good buy very soon. course, this team of OpTic, it has been called one of the great European opportunities. Veterans like Freiburg, youngsters like HS, but so far the results have been good. It's not really like they're having any kind of bad temper, any kind of bad kind of skill, but they're young. They're young, and in their form they are existent. They're not existent too long. That round logically has been down a drain for OpTic Gaming, and so 12-6 it will be. Now it's time for the CTs to buy something up. Now he gets tricked this time. Sees no one coming in early. Cloud9 has done it a few times in the past. This one gets automatic though, taken out of 19 HP, and HS is also there to find another Cloud9 player. So also Stewie kills Tarek in this case, a team kill. It comes in from Young Stu, so only 2 are alive. What a flick from Skadoodle onto Freiburg. That shot has been beautifully on. But a 2 versus 4 is hard to win against a team that is fully equipped. A good buffer Cloud9 has. Only 4 rounds for victory they need, but maybe they gotta put a check mark onto this one and say, okay, OpTic, you can have that. I'm cool with it. Waiting this out. OpTic 19 HP should be an easy target for Skadoodle anyway once he pushes around the corner, but that is not happening. And that forces HS out to the left is the question. No, he stands behind the pillar. Yeah, but then is the bomb lost. So that will also be Skadoodle lost, and so it will be OpTic finally gathering onto the 7th. It is time that OpTic get some relief, say, okay, it's time for us to, you know, show up again. And when we take a look, Cloud won 8 rounds consecutively. OpTic, they broke the spell right here. But so far so good, you could say. So far so good for the side of the North Americans. Cloud9, who already took down their opponents on Inferno in a brutal 16-6 fashion, are maybe able to continue that. Double up setup we're seeing though. Mixwell, as well as his Finnish teammate Alu, are trying their best to find the frags with the $4,750 rifle, but so far nothing has happened. Tarek down to 44. Comes the first. Takes down automatic. Actually was praised for his entry kills back when he was a TSM, but now takes a lurker role in Cloud9. We've just seen him dying in his lurk and work, but 40 seconds are left. That approach towards the A side seems to be inevitable. Tarek calls it. There's the execution coming. Alu, yep, he finds that Tarek a little bit too early to make that push, and they need to reconsider if they really want to take that aggression with the money they have right now onto the boards, because it might get tricky. Alu stands up on a trash can. Freiburg needs to be found, and he gets found by Stewie. Let's see how hot he's getting. The smokes, they never really bothered him. Now Magus needs to find it. Just he didn't see the barrel. Oh god, that was not working out at all from Stewie. That could have been his round and his frags. He's gathering. Skadoodle missing, keeping his head low. There's another. This is beautiful. Now Rush needs to come over. He still has the time. No need to rush the Dane. But he does not manage to find the frag. So it's Magisk who's on his own to gather an 8th. It was tricky for OpTic, but somehow they magically did it. That could have been the finish line for Cloud. Decimating the economy from OpTic 1 by 1. But that seems to be not the case for now. It depends how Cloud want to do it. Because if they stick to what they have done, and especially Tarek comes up with some strategy he's aware of, that should be working well. Finds the first. Tries to position his AWP. Automatic, he does not get the frag onto the Finn. He has the third one coming. He has the fourth one coming. And Skadoodle, he is probably caught up in some duel. And he is actually getting taken down by HS. Allo with 4 frags towards Connector. And 1 coming from T-Spawn. One after another, it doesn't matter. Run into his crosshair and you're dead anyway. The sniper's aim. And it's a funny story. There was actually, back in World War II, a Finnish sniper. I think it was even a woman. Was really successful with, you know, taking care of the Germans. I know history class can be boring. I know history class can't be fun. But sometimes, it's nice to hear about it. Anyway, Alu with his AWP. Once more trying to go for the same. All the pistols now on the Cloud side. It's doubtable if that works. Does he not see the barrel? Hold on, did he not see the barrel from Magic's there? Because we saw it 100%. Stewie. Yes, nice one right there. There's number 1 coming from Magic's. There's another one coming. Finally, his automatic ending this, but it shouldn't be much time left for the 2 Cloud9 players to survive. An M4 he has gathered, but no chance. Even if you get that M4 and even if you don't utilize it, also a Deagle won't help you out in this situation. So, what we're seeing, 12-10 it is, and OpTic Gaming. They finally gathered themselves onto the double digits. They're finally at the point where they can say, okay, it's time for us to come back on our own map. Tactical break on Cloud9 should actually come very, very soon. Because this can't go this way any further. Losing one round after another. OpTic gaining a lot of momentum. Oh, he got caught pants down as a flashbang just hit him hard. This will leave Cloud9 with a man disadvantage, 1 player less. Stewie waits it out, sees Magus. Well, patience is key, and he finds another. No, Freiburg. Actually getting the 19-year-old American, usually so successful in such duels, but in this case, not having a slight bit of a chance. He spotted the Finn. And then it's Tarek actually taking him down, so it will be only Freiburg. There's one coming. Oh, and Rush. The plan will happen. Skadoodle, as well as his teammate, are now able to defend that side on their own. No utility they have. Not a smoke. Ah, there comes actually some gathered equipment. And even in the last second thing, he could flame it off, and he does that. Still another one coming in. If it's not the Mixwell success story, oh, he's getting taken down to 20 HP. And then it will be Cloud9 picking up the pace. So that will be 13-10, and OpTic, they still have a good bunch of money, because that will now become in so handy. Pause has been called. Cloud9, they're going for the timeout. And that timeout, they just want to finish it right now. This is the classic thing you do. You don't just say, okay guys, hold up for a second, we just continue right that. No, it's time to talk about Tarek as well as their coach now really find a way to get into the mind of OpTic to say, finish it right here, right now. Because if OpTic do that kind of, you know, set the economy of their opponents back, they will be in a situation that's far away from comfortable. And let's just see what we'll now find in round number 24. Is that round number 24? frag on to Stewie. Cloud with one player less. Figure out something as soon as possible. Automatic lurking around onto the B site. Or it could be just Mixwell. We'll find him sooner or later. Another great shot. Finding a second already. Skadoodle having no chains. Though he's the opera from Cloud9, no counter possible in this one, and that is not really how you want to continue after you just did a break. But this might be their lucky chance, because only 2 are there. On the B side, Automatic is hot, but not hot enough together, one after another. Rush comes around the corner, he needs to find Mixwell, does that actually, and there it is, back to a 2v2. Where Tarek goes for the plant, and Rush is there for another, finds free. And now the guy who did already 2 nice entries, Fanskadoodle, will need to retrieve it, but that is not happening. Cloud on the 14th, it looked so incredibly good. But then there was suddenly a guy that was lethal, and that was Automatic. And OpTic, take a look at that piece of economy. Take a look at the $2,000 they have. This is just not satisfying, and you don't like that. I personally, I don't know. I couldn't even say anything that would be just worse than that. You know, all that situation. When you play, even when it's just matchmaking, even when it's just the ESEA puck or whatever you do, when you realize that you're in a situation where you were just up to grab that round, to grab that match that looked so horrible throughout a good bunch of time, and then your opponent says, not today. And this is what happens. And that best of 3 that is already in the favor of Cloud9 might just turn around sooner or later. Both holds of Skadoodle gives him not many more options to use his op properly. And HS in the close range might find some nice headshot. There's the first one on Automatic. There's the second on Tarek. Not happening as Mixwell also put some bullets into the back after the Estonian. And now it's not time to panic, because this can happen very easily when you realize your opponents have just pistols and you're dying. And OpTic, a young team from their existence, of course, playing on an NY server when they're just chilling somewhere in Europe. Happy is something different. But you need to live with the circumstances, and right now, even the circumstances that were originally just pistols, they're utilizing very, very well. It's 40 seconds, they gotta use wisely. Stewie needs to make that approach as soon as possible, because that A site is clear. There's no one coming, and no one is coming soon. But they might take too much time, and Magisk is there, he gets stinged, and for some reason he just takes out his Glock. They don't even care anymore. Now it's time to do it. Now it's time to take that approach. Stewie with 1 at least. Joel uses it wisely. He might get the aggression. Cannot hit any shot. And then there will be one from behind. It will be Aloe with his CZ. And 2 AKs. Excuse me, not 2 AKs, 1. But then, before I can even finish my sentence, it is OpTic taking it over. Cloud are 2 away. And it is only 2 rounds they need. But losing against pistols is probably one of the most insufficient things and the most unsatisfying things you could ever have. Let me take a look right now at the scoreboard. Everything quite, you know, spread out. We have no one really bottom fragging too massively, no one top fragging in an insane kind of fashion. Only one who's really worrying is Skadoodle. That round right there, when he just played that Glock, it's understandable to one point that he does that close range to use a Glock. But it's a Glock. I mean, I don't want to really quote Dazed here, but a Glock is not really efficient in close-range battle, especially when you know your opponent at least has armor. There goes Maggie's was one. Saw only Tarek, though. And maybe Stewie can be a sneaky fragger, and he does that. OpTic finds Magus on the other side, and now it's time to get Alu as soon as possible. Checks on to the left. The spray is not on. Oh, Alu, he still survives, but there he gets found. And the rotation comes. Mixwell as well as HS. They both need to save what is still left for OpTic, but it seems like the 15th will happen, and Stewie just sprays through. Take a close look at that economy, because that is really not great. 1.7, 2.9. Mixwell, the only one who can buy something decent. That's it. That is the match point. That is right now Cloud just one away from gathering a 2-0 victory. Let's go. Missing shots actually a lot today. Very satisfying to see what he does with his AWP. Also, probably one of the reasons why he's on the bottom of the scoreboard regarding the frags for Cloud9. He gets fragged there. Perfectly done by Mixwell. Now it's up to keep just the patience, because if Cloud just panic too much, it's tricky for them. You don't want to really get it tricky there. We're seeing Tearing on 7 HP. Panic is not the thing you want. Stewie decimates Alu already, so one player after another falls down into the grave. The coffins are getting closed. The nails are being put in. And only 40 seconds they are for Cloud to do something against a team that is one player less, that has Freiburg onto a pistol and not any major utility. Not even a kit is existent. They're still waiting it for second by second. This is amazing. Will be just now the approach. They don't see HS. He could be the hero of this. And he is not actually the hero. Skadoodle finds a frag with his Akaden, and now it's only onto Freiburg. This can probably be called over at that point. Oh, this was painful to watch. And now it is OpTic losing 6-11 on their own map pick. That is it for the even.